So hello YouTube, this is Hasnen from Trending Codes and welcome back again to my channel, Trending Codes. So in the last tutorial we were talking about how to create alert box, action sheet and all those stuff. Now in today's tutorial what we are going to make is we are going to create one list item, okay, and in those lists we're gonna fill up the data from array, and we're gonna pass the data of array from one page to another. Okay, now here is the tutorial for you guys I have made for you, and this is how it's gonna work. Now for example, I'm having a list over here which consists of Ionic, Angular, Sauce, Android and iOS. Okay, so this is my list. I have stored all these things in my one of the array called list, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass the data from one page to another. Okay, so when I just click on the Ionic, I'm going to get a new page, and on the new page I'm going to get a message that hey, you clicked on Ionic. Okay, now in the same way, when I just go back and just clicked on the Angular, okay, I'm going to get the message that you clicked on Angular. So the important thing is we are going to learn the Ionic component, that how to create a list, okay, how to fill the data uh, in the list, and how to pass the data from one page to another. This is the most important thing in this tutorial, okay, how to pass the data from one page to another. So at the end of this tutorial we are going to make this application, and if you really like my videos, if you really like my channel, then please subscribe it, and let's get started. Okay, so to get started, we need to download the project, and here we can download the project with the help of terminal, and I should be in the desktop directory, so I will just go inside the desktop, and then I will make one directory called list, and inside the list I'm going to create my project. So now I'm inside the list, and I'm going to create a project with the help of Ionic start list blank template, and it should be of version 2. Okay, now this will download the project, and I will be right back after the project is downloaded. Okay, so here my project is running, okay, and I have downloaded the blank, so I have just run the blank application over here. Now you guys, I just want to inform you that in the previous tutorial I was using Ionic so when I was just running my project. Okay, now instead of that, in this tutorial we are going to use Ionic lab command to start the project. Now the benefit of Ionic lab command is we can just debug our application on all three platforms. Can you see the Android is also present and the Windows is also present, so we can just debug the application on all three platforms easily with the help of Ionic lab. So I have just opened my project inside the Visual Studio Code, and it's running right here. And what we are going to do is first we are going to work with the HTML part, and once we done with the HTML part, we are going to create one array in the .ts file, and we will just fill our list with the help of the array elements available inside the .ts file which we have created. Okay, now to get started, first of all you need to create the ion list. Okay, and once you create the ion list, I have shown you in the demo that there are lots of stuff available inside the list, like the text was available like Ionic and Angular, iOS, Android. So those are nothing but they are the buttons. Okay, so we need to create the buttons over here. So to create a button, we need to type a button tag. Okay, once you done with the button tag, you going to give the name of the item which you are going to create, maybe Ionic. So the first item which will be present inside my list is the Ionic. Okay, the text will be appear on the screen called Ionic. So now this is not a part we have to create. We need to create more things. Okay, once you will do that, it will just look something different, because this is not an actual way to create a list. Okay, the actual way to create a list is we should tell this button that you are the item of the list. Okay, so we should write ion item, okay, inside the button, because we are creating the button inside the list. We are not creating a normal button. Okay, we are creating a button inside the list, so we should tell the button that you are an item of the list. So for that you need to write ion item. Okay, now when you just run your project, the first item you will find in the list is Ionic over here. Okay, so you can create as many buttons as you want, but this is not a correct way to create. Okay, for example, there are 10 or 100 items available inside the list. Okay, if you want to present the 100 items inside the list, then you are not going to write all those 100 items manually over here. So if you want to fill the list dynamically, we need to use ng-for over here. So as I said, when you will run the project, the output of your this code will be look like this. Okay, we have just created one list, I mean one item inside the list. Okay, so can you see we can debug the single application on all three platforms with the help of Ionic Lab. So guys, do remember, when you just run your project with the help of Ionic Serve, you can also use Ionic Lab, so that you can just debug your application on all three platforms. So what we are going to do, we are going to create our items of the list dynamically, or we are going to fill our list dynamically. So to do that, we are going to use ng-for over here. Okay, and the syntax for ng-for is like this. ng-for, I'm sorry, f should be capital. Okay, ng-for equals to inside the double quotes, there will be a single variable. I will call it as item, I'm sorry, let item for list. Okay, now this is my list, or I will call this as an array. From the array, it will just fetch the item one by one, and it will just present those items inside my list. Now for example, I'm having 5 data inside the list. Okay, for example, the 5 data are like Ionic, Angular, and iOS. For now, consider 3 data inside the list. The first one is Ionic. So when I just read the data from the array, the value for the first time inside the item is Ionic. So what I will do, I will just write the item over here in the curly braces. Okay, this is how we can fill our list with dynamically. Okay, now if you want, you can read the data from the TS file. Okay, by creating the array. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to create the array. Now let me check I have created all the things correct or not. Okay, ion item ng-for, let item for, oh I'm sorry, it should be off, not for. Okay, here it should be off, not for. I'm sorry for that. Now once you do that, you're going to create one array in the home.ts file. Okay, now here my home.ts file is. Now can you see I have just created the list array over here. So this is the list present, like it is the name of the array, and I have stored the 5 data inside the array, that is Ionic, Angular, SAS, Android, and iOS. Okay, now when I just run my project, or when I just build this project, the first item will be present inside the list is Ionic, The second item present inside the list is Angular. Third, the says. And all this way, it will just fetch the data from the array and it will present inside the list. So this is how we can create a list inside the Ionic. Okay, now if you want to read the data from the database and you want to store, or you want to display the data to the list, this is how you can do. Just retrieve the data from the database, store those all data inside the list, and inside the array, and just read that array in your HTML file with the help of ng for loop. Okay, now this is how we can just really create our list with the in the Ionic too, and this is the best way to create a list in Ionic. So let's look at the output. Okay, so here is the output. Okay, and now we are just reading the data from the array successfully, and we are just displaying all those data inside the list. Now if you guys don't understand how the data are coming from array to the HTML file, this is all done because of ng for loop. Okay, this is how we can use Angular in the Ionic, and we can just read the data from ts file to HTML file. Now here is the one array with the name of list, and I am just taking or I'm just extracting single piece of data or from the list over here. Okay, first time the item will be filled with the Ionic over here, the second time the item will be filled with the Angular, and it goes on until the array is completed. So this is how we can create the list in the Ionic tool. Now what we are going to do is if we want to pass the data from one page to another, for example, you want to create a list, or you want to know the all information about Ionic. So when you just click on the Ionic, you're going to get all the information for the Ionic. Now for another example, like if you're going to click on the Angular, you're going to get all the information about the Angular. So to do that, we need to add one single page, and if you want to add a page, you have to go in the terminal. Okay, I'm running my project inside the Visual Studio Code terminal, so I will just get outside of my project and I will just type this command. I'm sorry, not this one, this one, Ionic G page se. Now this command will generate a page with the name se. Okay, it will create a 3 page. The first one is the HTML, the second one is the .ts, and the third one is the scss. So once I will just type this command and I will just hit an enter over here, it will just download a page and it will just put inside the page directory. Okay, can you see I have just downloaded the page, and the page has been saved inside the page directory, and inside the page directory there is one folder called se. Now inside the se, I have 3 folders called se.html, se.scss, and se.ts. So before we work with the SE page, what we are going to do, we are going to include our page inside the app.module.ts file. Okay, now once you open app.module.ts file, you should import your page. Okay, and to import your page, you need to write import SE page from pages/se/se. Now can you see our SE folder is present inside the pages directory? So we will just give a name over here, and please guys do remember, after you give name of your page, you should include this page after the name of your page. Okay, so this is how we can import our page in the app.module.ts file. Okay, now once you do that, you need to inject your this SE page inside the ng module. Okay, in the declaration part, and don't forget to add it inside the bootstrap part. Okay, once you do that, we are done with the app.module.ts file. Now we're gonna work with the home.ts file. Okay, because we are going to use this page, like we are going to get out from the home.html file, and we should be inside the se.html file. So to do that, you need to include the import se page from se/se. Now guys, don't make a mistake. You like, if you don't like, you have to not include the page directory over here. Okay, now this is the root directory itself, so we don't need to include the page directory over here. So we have included our SE page. Okay, now when I just click on the Ionic over here, okay, I will be just redirected to the SE page. Now okay, so to do that, I need to create one click event inside the button. Okay, now to do that, I will just create a click over here, a click event over here by typing click. Okay, and I should give a name to the function that should be called on the click. Okay, I guess now. Okay, and inside the nav I'm going to pass this item as a parameter, because when just user click on the Ionic, or when user click on the Angular, that particular string or that particular element should be passed, so we can easily know that on which list user has clicked, or on the which list of the item has been clicked. So to do that, I should pass the item over here. Okay, once I pass the item, I will just create that particular function inside the home.ts file. Okay, now after the constructor, I'm going to create the now function. Okay, and now function will take one argument. Okay, and it should be anything like item. Okay, and inside that, I'm going to log on console to make sure that my program is working or not, or my code is working or not. To make console log, console.log, okay, console.log item. Okay, so here I will just make sure that the parameter is like parameter we are passing from HTML file to .ts file is working correctly or not. As you guys see over here, we have created the ng for loop over here. From this item, if user will click on the Angular, Angular will get copy inside the item, and it will pass to the now as a parameter. So we can easily read that when user clicked on particular list. Okay, now here we are going to check our output. Let's see it's working. Okay, so let's check the output over here. The build has been completed, and it should we are just logging on the console. When we click on the Ionic, it should log that you clicked on Ionic. Okay, it's working. And I just click on the Angular, SAS, Android, and iOS. Okay, it's working. So we are successfully passing the data from HTML to .ts file with the help of parameter over here. Now what we are going to do is we are going to pass this item from home.html to se.html. Okay, now when user just click on these items of the list, okay, we will just navigate to the another page with the help of this dot now ctrl. Now you don't need to take care, because when you just create your application, this navctrl or the nav controller has been created by default, so you should not or you have to not take care about navctrl. Okay, so this dot nav controller dot push. Okay, and we are going to push our data, or I mean we are going to push our page inside the stack. Okay, se page, because we want to navigate to SE page. here we have included our SE page from se/se, and here we are just pushing inside this tag. Okay, now when I just click on this button, okay, I'm going to be navigate on the another page that is se.html. So let's just take a look, does it work or not. Okay, so here is the output. Let's check it's working or not. Okay, so can you see when I just click on the any item of the list, it will just I will just get navigated to the another page that is SE. You can see over here. So this is how we can navigate from one page to another with the help of nav controller. Okay, but now what if you want to pass the data from one page to another? Now it's too easy to pass the data from one page to another. Here what we are going to do is, in the push method, we are going to pass the another argument, and that is our data. Okay, we are going to create the values over here, and this value will hold the item. Okay, now what is the item over here is, we are passing the item as a parameter from the .html file over here. So when user will click on the Ionic will get copied inside the item over here, and in home.ts file it will refer to the Ionic. So when I just click on the any item of the list, that particular string will get copied inside the item, and it will be stored inside the value over here. Okay, now this is how we can pass the data from one page to another. Okay, now let's check that we are getting data on another page or not. Okay, so as you guys remember, we have created the SE page over here. So we are going to open se.ts, and inside the constructor, I will work with the inside the constructor. Inside the constructor, what I'm going to do is, I have passed the item, okay, as an argument from home.html to home.ts. Okay, so I'm receiving all the particular list or the particular item present inside the list in the item variable. Now that particular item variable is stored inside the value. Okay, now when I just want to retry the value, I will just use this keyword or this variable, and I will get the value inside the se.ts. Okay, so to do that, I will just type like this dot nav params. Okay, now you don't have to take care about nav params. Okay, now this is a nav parameter or the nav params controller, which will be included or which will be imported automatically when you just download your page. So the method to get the data from one page to another is this dot nav params dot get I will say value. Okay, as you guys see over here, I have stored my item inside the value. Okay, so when I just want to retrieve in the se.ts file, I should write a value over here. Now I will just store this particular value inside one variable called info. Okay, and this dot info equals this dot navparams dot get value. I'm sorry, I'm writing the wrong spelling over here. It should be info. Okay, now my particular item will be get stored inside this particular variable called info. Okay, and I will just display this info on the se.html file. So to do that, I will just take an h2 tag, and I will just write as you clicked on um, inside the curly braces info. I hope you guys understanding what I'm writing over here. If you don't, I'm going to explain you right now. Okay, so what exactly happening over here is um, in the constructor, I'm getting the parameter which I have passed or which I okay, so guys, I think it should work and we should go ahead and check our output it's working or not. So when I just click on the Ionic, I will be navigated along with the string present in the list. Okay, for example, when I just click on the Ionic, it will just say me you clicked on Ionic. Now for the same, if I click on the Angular, it will just say me you clicked on the Angular. So guys, can you see the string which is available over here is getting passed from one page to another. Okay, so this is how we can pass the data from one page to another, and I will just show you like what are the ways we are passing the data over here for the quick look what we have did to pass the data from one page to another. So we will start from the home.html file. Okay, here we have created our list and we are passing the particular item, okay, to the now function as an argument. Okay, and inside the argument I am storing that particular item inside the value. Okay, now this should be in the JSON form. Okay, we are just storing the data in the JSON form, and then in home or the se.ts file, I'm just retrieving that particular value with the help of now parents.get method. Okay, and I'm storing that particular into the info variable. Now this info will be just referred in the se.html over here, and it will just say me, hey, you clicked on the lead. Okay, so this is how we can pass the data from one page to another. This is how we can create the Ionic list, and you can do a lot of the things, a lot more things with the help of list. And if you guys really likes my videos, please subscribe my channel and take care. And yes, I forgot to tell you one thing, that in demo I have just used the slanting division and all those things. Like I have created a design in the background, like there was blue and black color background. Okay, and in the background I have just used the slanted division. If you guys want, okay, I'll be making that particular style in my next video. I will just show you the quick look how to just make that particular design with the help of uh, Ionic. It is nothing like we have to use as CSS instead of CSS, and we can design it in the same way as we design the websites. So thanks for watching my video, and if you like my video, click on thumbs up, subscribe, and # keep coding.